refuse to follow peace with men, you will not see God. Don't ever get to that point. You say, let him go. Soldier come, soldier go. Barak remains the same. You'll be surprised. By the time soldier come, Barak has relocated. I'm telling you. Have you ever wondered why some people are just stranded? I mean, completely stranded in life. I will show you from scriptures. Have you ever wondered why you see a man who is, you see, this is family month. You see a father at 75, alone in a house, preparing food for himself. He is not a widower. The wife is still alive, probably with 5 children. And you'll be wondering, what happened? At 75. Before you say the children are wicked, how did the man live his life when he had strength? I know of a man at 60-something started begging his wife to come back. Now he had stroke, poo-pooing on his body. He was calling everybody. All his children doing well. So we were wondering, that man was a tyrant in his youth. He was a tyrant. I'm saying this to all of you. Listen, follow peace with all men, or without it you won't see God. There's a way some men are living. Ladies especially, your beauty will not last forever. You see flower, except it's artificial, it fades. It's only artificial that doesn't fade. Yes. Who has artificial? Who has time for artificial? Artificial doesn't have value. Oh, fine girl. Have you seen a fine girl today? Not forever. That you are pretty doesn't mean that the whole world will be under your feet. That you're a cute man, that you're looking nice, you're gifted, doesn't mean that you'll be gifted forever. No matter the position you find yourself, times and season. If you're a star today, you can't be a star forever. Other stars will emerge. You will leave the stage. Are you all with me? Some hard truths will be coming out from this altar the next 4 Sundays. And the midweek services, we're going to be addressing issues. You're going to see why people are alone, why people are stranded, why people are abandoned. Failure does not happen overnight. It's the little things that you do today. Cumulative effect. Rejection is not overnight. Where a whole family member, they'll say, where are the children? Where are the children? They are alive, but nobody wants to identify. I've seen where people died. There were no relatives to attend. In fact, they had to arrange people to bury the person. Because while the person was alive, it was a nuisance. It was a nuisance. So watch how you walk with your morning time. Watch how you walk with your afternoon time. There are some men, the wife will beg them, kneel down for them to pay children's school fees. Your own child, from your own loans. Your wife, relatives, your children will be calling people, talk to my daddy, to pay the basic school fees. Some of you fathers, you treat school fees, things that has to do with your family, like an accident. You are buying new cars, expecting your children to be excited, when basic things in their lives are not in place. It's all about you. Let me take it the other way. Let's look at the general relationships between same sex and opposite sex. How did you treat your friends in your youth? Watch it. Watch it. How do you relate with people? Watch it. It says, follow peace with all men. And what? Holistic. Holiness is not, I didn't fornicate. You might not fornicate, you might not commit adultery, but you are not holy. Holistic approach to relationship. Follow men. There's an evening. I'll give you a illustration for where I'm going. Many years ago, you know, Jesus said something about offense. Offense. In Luke chapter 18, check verse 4. I think it's 4 or verse 6. Even in offense, learn how to manage offense, because it will surely come. Tongue and teeth, they fight. How do you manage conflict resolutions? Very important. How do fights end? Is very important. Please help me check Luke 18, verse either 4, 5, or 6. It says, offense will what? Will surely come. But then if you go further, you discover that Jesus kept on talking about the importance of conflict resolution, resolve offenses. Then if you read Matthew further, you find Peter said, okay, I've heard. Jesus, I've heard. Okay, how many times will my brother offend me? Don't forget that Jesus had a team of 12, right? 12 men cannot be in the same place without fighting. So that teaching was basically for his team. All right? Jesus had 12, he had another group of people, right? Is it possible to have 12 disciples and no fight? Do you know there was a time who came and said to Jesus, who will be the greatest in the kingdom? Even Peter, with all the miracles, said, look, we left everything, we followed you. What is our gain? They confronted Jesus. All this, that kingdom come, that will be done. We have left everything. We are following you. What is the future of this worker? You can carry 12 men, heads of families without offense. Why I'm saying this is because every one of you have to manage your madness. You all have to learn to manage your madness. I'll tell a story, then I start to teach. I'm older than most of you. Yes, I'm a grandfather. Yes. You know, I told you a few days ago in the place of prayer, God told me something. I was praying. I was listening to a man of God. And this man of God, the reason I listen to when I'm praying with my phone, when I go for my prayer walk, he tells a lot of story. And the Lord said to me, he said, I've taken you through experiences in life. Teach with a lot of stories, with scriptures. Scriptures backed up with stories. It helps for understanding. So I'm not going to jump into scriptures and start to jargonize you. Habakkuk, Zechariah, Zephaniah. You don't need all that. The government is not even good. Things are not even fine. So to start to give you mathematics in church is not necessary. All right? All right, let me tell the story. But before I go to the story, I want you to look at that Matthew chapter 18. Matthew 18. That offense will surely come. Have they put it? And it's also in Matthew, I think Matthew 18. Then in Matthew 18 downward, all right? Jesus was begging them about no matter the offense. They said, okay. In one day, how many times with my brother? That means somebody was offending Peter back to back. Look, you need to understand that. Forget all those miracles of raising the dead. Fights, serious fight going on. And then Judas was busy stealing from the offerings. Anywhere you gather human beings, they are not normal people. You see this man, the way they was raised is different from the way I was raised. The way, those days, Pastor Lucy would say, only it's because you don't have structures in place. You know, there's a way you, anything that happened, Pastor Lucy would say that I'm the cause. I kept quiet. Okay, no problem. Later, she now started school. She has staff. When they started misbehaving, I said, it's the structure that you didn't put in place. I started telling, because I would tell Pastor Lucy, I'm not responsible for anybody that is rude. Rudeness is from his foundation. And the things he went through made him rude. Probably he grew up in 5 different houses. Crazy environment. Do you know that some people here very smart and intelligent? When they are talking to you like this, they are looking, when you are saying something, they are checking your body language. Check, those ones, they grew up with their grandparents. Very calculative. And they will sell you like this. Put your chain in your pocket and be smiling with you. At age 6, they already have the intelligence of a 15-year-old adult. They will sell you and pocket you. Do you want, because when you grow up with grandparents will knock your head with proverbs and adage. Call you and call you. Don't have sense. You don't have sense. You don't have sense. So your senses are activated very early, earlier than usual. So if you have somebody probably in the choir, too much sense to be worrying him. You'll be confusing everybody. So there's no way, what Jesus is saying, that there's no way people gather without offense. There's no way. There's no way I will run this church. Everybody will be normal. I have accepted that everybody have some measure of madness. So I've told myself, I will manage the madness of Pastor John. I'll manage the madness of everybody. And I know that no matter what I teach, that madness cannot be cured 100%. It will be heaven that will be completed. So when they came to Jesus, they said, how long will offense? Jesus said, okay. He said, 70 times 7. That's about 400. That means it's not possible for someone to offend you in one day. 400 something. What I mean, how many hours in a day? What Jesus was trying to tell you is that no matter the offense, follow peace with all men. Because I needed to lay this foundation, because when I start to teach right now, someone say, oh, this pastor is just teaching this thing. He doesn't even want to understand what I'm going through. Now, no matter what you're going through, offense will surely come. Are you hearing me? There'll be Brother Matthias that is offending Brother Peter. Brother Peter that is offending Brother John. There'll be Brother Kingsley that'll be offending a Brother Peter, or a Brother Peter that'll be offending a Pastor Oku. We only offend ourselves because we are stranded with each other. Abi? Yes. You chose this church, so you chose me. You are stranded with me. I am stranded with you. So as long as you have not made up your mind that in all the manners to leave this church, we are stranded with each other. So we all have to manage ourselves. All right, let me fast forward with the story. Many years ago, when this church was still very young, the women decided to do me a gift on women's convention. They bought a very small television, very beautiful TV. That was my first color television. So when they brought it, they didn't want to go to Alaba to buy it. So they said, okay, where do we buy it? Over time, they deliberated. You know, anything that has to do with women, talk back and forth. They said, no, there's one place in the island. There's a brother in church that knows one guy who has a shop in showroom, blah, 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 in Ikoyi. So they left Alaba demons. They went to Ikoyi, and it don't go better for Satan. They went to Ikoyi and they bought brand new color TV in a carton with factory defect. So when they bought me the TV, they brought it to, I was so happy. The women did their Thanksgiving, they walk, they dance, they brought the television. I will bring the picture maybe next week. When I saw the TV, I said, oh Lord, what a wonderful church. I got home. As I opened the carton, remove everything, put the TV, as I on it, just for me to sit down, the TV went off. I thought maybe NEPA took light. I went again, the TV went off. I went back and forth. Later, we contacted the person who contacted the person. He said, oh, they will fix it. I said, no, give us a new one. It's a brand new TV. They took it. They said, no, it's a small problem. They fixed it. They brought it. As they brought it, as I sat down, the TV went off. They took it back and forth 4 times. The last time I carried it in anger, I went to the back of the house. I broke the TV because I was offended. Do you know the couple who sold that TV eventually will show up in our church from time to time, because the brother who introduced him, they are like business, they do transactions together. So whenever we're doing like Thanksgiving, invite your friends, they will always come to church. And I knew them. Hey, Pastor, how are you? Fine. That television, we're going to get you another one. Now lie. Year after year, eventually I forgot. All right, fast forward a few years after. Our first daughter was traveling to Canada, and we were happy. But then they went to the supermarket. Lo and behold, that family that sold television. Pastor Lucy, how are you? Oh, hey. Many years now, probably like 10, 15 years. What are you doing here? Joanna had admission, so we brought her to Canada. We live in Canada now. Our children, blah, blah, blah. To cut long story short, that family became a succor to our family. They were worshiping with the Redeemed Christian Church with a 4,000 member capacity. And every weekend, this man will go to the school, pick my daughter, bring her for the weekend so she doesn't have exposure to night clubbing. All those. So they bring her weekend, then Sunday they all go to church. After church in the evening, after dinner, go and drop her back in school. Can I tell you something? When our second child went, joined, the guy did same. To this date, my kids have grown in that Redeemed Christian Church, committed. I owe that to them. Many years later, he became the chairman. When my daughter got married, he was the chairman at, what do you call that place? Monarch. The chairman of my daughter's wedding was the man that gave me television previous years and did not work. Years later, this man was paying tithe to me of $5,000, $7,000. Let me shock you. That man gave me 2 Jeeps. When the wife had cancer, if you were a member of our church the last few years, when the wife had cancer, I was to die. It was God that used me to bring her back. On my 50th birthday at Charity, she testified. Follow peace with all men, without which no man can see God.